So, like today's topic is from concepts to code. So, first thing is we will be getting into coding, and we will be having a deep dive into Java programming along with object-oriented concepts. Okay. So, with this title, let's get started. So, last class we discussed the features of Java programming language, which is also called as Java buzzwords. One of the very important concept I told for interviews as well as for your academics or JNTU exam. So we discussed few of the important features. We try adding few of the features which are expected in the company interviews. Okay. We discussed how Java is claimed as a simple programming language. How can we say that Java is a robust programming language? How Java is secured? How Java is rich in the standard libraries? How Java supports functional programming features from Java 8? And finally, we started with Java as an object-oriented programming language. I told you like Java is said to be this to be strong, object-oriented. Just one. Okay. I told you like Java is said to be a strong object-oriented programming language. In Java, everything is an object, right? It supports all the features of the object-oriented programming paradigm. The only thing it's not called as pure object-oriented programming language because it do have support from the for the primitive types, which allows to achieve this high performance. They still have support for primitive data types. There will be a question in placements like, is Java a pure object-oriented programming language? Then the answer will be no, it's not a pure object-oriented programming language because before Java 8, it was strongly object-oriented, but not pure. From Java 8 onwards, now Java became a multi-paradigm language because now Java supports both functional programming as well as object-oriented programming. At least now we cannot say that Java is an object like or a pure object oriented programming language or strongly object oriented programming language because now Java has multiple features. Now, last time we had a lot of questions like what is object oriented programming, what is functional programming. So first we will get started with object oriented programming as functional programming is not part of your syllabus, but as we're learning here for placements, we will be going for every concept in depth, keeping placements in mind. So we will be covering a lot of concepts from functional programming as well. We're going to see like what things got added in Java 8, Java 9, Java 11. So all these latest versions of Java, what features got added in every version, we will be having very depth understanding so that you get up to date for interviews. Okay. So with this, let's get started with object-oriented programming paradigm. Okay. So let's start with object-oriented programming paradigm. Okay, so basically a programming paradigm, basically a paradigm is the way in which a computer language looks at the problem to be solved. So a paradigm is just a way of thinking about the problem and writing the solution. So as I told you, a paradigm is just nothing but the way of solving the problem, the approach for solving the problem. Okay. So as you can see in this diagram, okay, the tick says that, wow, I have a paradigm shift, meaning basically a paradigm is nothing but the way he sees the world. Now, before he was in the egg, so that is what his world, but now he came out of this world, now he can see a new world. So we're going to have a paradigm shift today because you have learned procedural oriented programming with C language, but now you will be learning an object oriented programming language. So now you're going to have a paradigm shift today. You're going to go from one paradigm to another paradigm. So basically a paradigm is nothing but a way to solve a particular problem is called as paradigm. Now we will see a small history, like how this object-oriented paradigm got started and all. We will see a quick history about it. This is all started in the early 1970s. There is a guy called Alan Kay. Okay, and he was doing a research on different approach for solving a problem, because that time it was very hard for people to learn programming and to implement programming and all. So he got an idea, like instead of we solving the problems in computer way, can computer solve the problem in our way? He started working on it, and he come up with a language, or he come up with a paradigm, but people did not accept it and did not trusted him. So what he did is he created a language under that particular paradigm, and that language was named as Simula. Okay, it seems like simulating like human being. But to prove to others, like anyone can code, he conducted a test with the school kids, which has no coding, like no computer knowledge and all. And with that test, he able to prove that kids can able to code in similar language because it's close to human being rather than a computer system. Then that language got, or paradigm got, instant success, and it got added in academics. This is where Bejernes Strastrup, you know Bejernes Strastrup? Anyone knows or heard about Bejernes Strastrup? He's actually developer of C++ language. Okay, he's a developer of C++ language. uh, he has learned this similar language in his academics when he's doing doctorate at Cambridge University, and he impressed with that paradigm, and he went to Bell Labs. At least we all know Bell Labs, right? Where C took birth. Okay, and he met with the developers of C language, and he wanted to add this feature in C language. And you know what was that language was named after adding these features and more enhancement? What that language was named as? Okay, before C++, you know what was the name before C++? It was C with classes, okay? And 1979 it got developed, and then in 1982 it was renamed to C++, okay? And that way the object-oriented programming got very success with C++. Then languages like Java, Smalltalk, okay, JavaScript, all these languages, C Sharp, the languages started implementing this object-oriented paradigm. So this is how this object-oriented paradigm got started. And I think with this story, you got to know one thing, that object-oriented paradigm is close to human being. It's the most easiest way to solve the problem, okay? Comparatively with procedural approach and functional approach, object-oriented programming is the most easiest way can solve problems in human understandable approach, okay? So let us see what exactly the object-oriented programming says. So basically, we will see like how a way of viewing the world agents. So in object-oriented programming language, it uses an approach of treating a real-world agent as an object. Okay. So what exactly an object? Everywhere you look in the real world, you see objects like people, animal, plants, car, computers, table, fan, bike, pen, keyboard, etc. are just more objects. So when I ask you what is a bike, then you tell me like it's an object for you, right? Pen is an object for you. Fan is an object for you. Table is an object for you. According to physics, an object is nothing but which has mass. Okay. So an object is a real world entity. So pen is an object, fan is an object, bike is an object, keyboard is an object. So whatever you see around the world, everything is an object for you. Everything is an object for you. Now, if you wanted to see what exactly the definition for an object along with an example, uh, an object is a real world entity. Okay, it's a real world entity which has states, exhibit some well-defined behavior, and has a unique identity. So what is the definition for an object? You may expect this in your Viva or interviews. An object is a real world entity which has states, exhibits some well-defined behavior, and has a unique identity. For an example, if you look at this picture from one of the textbook, very famous textbook from Greedy Booch, if you see this hammer as an object, hammer will have certain states, right? It will have certain states like the grade of the hammer, the steel headed, okay, all these are nothing but the states of the hammer. And this is the behavior, nothing but the functionality of the hammer. What is it used for? And every hammer has a unique identity. If you look at the different hammers are different identity. Like some of them are curved headed, some of them are sharp headed, some of them are round headed. So different hammers have different identity basically. So basically, an object is a real world entity like a hammer, okay, which has states, nothing but the properties of the hammer, the attributes of the hammer. It has some well-defined behavior. It has its own functionality, and it has a unique identity. It has a unique identity. Let us try to understand this with some more examples. Okay. So if I ask you a pen as an object, a pen as an object, can someone tell me what could be their states and behavior? What could be the states and behavior for a pen? If pen is an object, then what are its states and behavior? What are its properties for a pen? And what could be the behavior for a pen? Okay, is it a behavior, Navya? To write is a behavior? Okay, nice. Okay, so writing is a behavior. I agree. I will write it as a behavior. So writing is a behavior. Good. What are its properties? Can someone help Navya? That what are its properties? Properties is nothing but the attributes, okay, for that particular object. So, okay, very nice. The name of the pen, okay, is one of the property. The color of the pen, okay, is another property. The price of the pen is another property. Agree? There may be many. Let's take these few important properties like name of the pen. Let's say Reynolds, okay, Cello, whatever it may be. The name of the pen is the property of a pen. Color, it could be in red color, it could be yeah, type of the pen is also a property, Vamshi, great. Okay, so it could be in blue color, it could be in red color, it could be in black color. The price may vary. Okay, these are the way you can actually represent an object, right? And writing is the behavior for an object. Okay, other than writing, can somebody tell me like what could be other behavior for an object? What else you can do with pen other than writing? What else you can do with pen? What kind of functionality it provides you? What kind of functionality it provides you? Uh, okay. What else? What other functionalities it provides you? Nothing for showcase. Okay. Okay. So it is also used for drawing, right? Right? Can you use pen for drawing? Correct. It's one of the functionality for the pen. Great. Okay, let us take some more objects to get some more clarity. Okay, similarly, if I take book as an object, if I take book as an object, now can you tell me like what are its states and what are the behavior for a book? I hope now you can easily able to identify because this is how you actually see the objects in the real world. Okay. Uh, I mean the name of the book, right? The author name or the name of the book. Nice. Uh, Next, the price of the book, correct? The number of pages. Okay, the number of pages. That's nice. Great. And what is the behavior of the book? What is the behavior of the book? Reading and writing. Very nice. I use book for writing as well as for reading. Okay, I use book for reading and writing. So this is not something new to you, right? This is not something new to you. That's what Alan Kay says, that in object oriented programming, you can think it as an object, identify their states, identify their behavior, implement it in a program. That's what object oriented programming is all about. Okay, representing an object. Now let us see an object which we're going to implement today. Okay, as I told you, we're going to write the first object oriented program today. So let us see what kind of object we're going to implement today. I'm going to implement a bank customer. Okay, we're going to write a program for bank customer. Now, can you please help me as a bank customer? What are the states and what are the behavior for a bank customer. You as a bank customer, what could be your states? What are your properties? Okay, and what is a behavior for a bank customer? You all have bank account, right? So what represents you as a bank customer? Very nice. The name of the customer, very nice. The name of the customer, the account number of the customer, okay, the balance of the customer are the properties of the bank customer. There may be many, right? Address, phone number, and all it goes on. Let's try to fix this three important attributes. Okay. Now, what is the behavior? Yes, correct. So, what is the behavior for a customer? Right. Depositing the amount, right? Depositing the amount, withdrawing the amount, right? Withdraw the amount or check balance. Okay, check balance, transfer the amount. So that's what you do when you go to ATM, right? So when you go to ATM, it shows all these functionalities to you. You can change the PIN, you can deposit the amount, you can withdraw the amount, you can check the balance. So all these are nothing but the functionalities they provide you as a bank customer. Okay, the functionalities they provide you as a bank customer. Now with this examples, can we say all of you have a better understanding for an object now? What is an object? Is everybody clear with the definition for an object now? Just type Y if the definition for object is clear for all. Okay, so with this, let's see the next concept. So in object-oriented programming, the first thing we have learned, previous slide, please. Okay, I'll show the previous slide as well. Okay, so previous slide talks about what are the different objects can be. Okay, so everything you see around the world is an object side, like people, animal, plants, table, fan, bike, pen, everything is an object. So if you take up any of this, you can define their attributes, you can define their behavior. Correct? Is this okay for you, Sai? Is this clear for you? Okay, now let's go for something called class. Okay, so class definition is there are many definitions for the class. If you see here, class is a representation of an object. Class is a representation of an object. Now I have a question for you all here. Like if pen is an object, if pen is an object, what is its class? If pen is an object, then what is the class for this pen? If pen is an object, what is a class? In real time, you can explain me. In real time, if pen is an object, okay, then where is the class for the pen? What is its class? Where is the class for pen? Anyone? It's a very important question for interviews, and many of us generally fail to justify, okay, the difference between an object and a class. So before we get into coding, it's very important for all of us to understand the difference between an object and a class. Okay, the type of the pen is the properties, Vamshi. The type of the pen, the color of the pen, the name of the pen, those are the properties of the pen. Okay, so my question was, Anirudh thinks that stationery is an class. Okay, let's discuss about it, Anirudh. How stationery can be a class? What exactly that blueprint means, Vamshi? Because I have seen a couple of students telling like blueprint or structure of a pen. Need some more clarity about it. Factory, okay, going good. Plan or design that tells how something should look and work. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, going good. So let's put it in another way. Okay, let's put it in another way so that you can understand in a better way. Let's say, for example, I ask all of you one task I wanted to give you. I wanted to make you cookies. Okay, so there are some 1,000 cookies I want to make you. I want 500 cookies with round shape and 500 cookies with star shape. Okay, I want 500 cookies with round shape and I want 500 cookies with a star shape. So the scenario is I want 500 cookies of this type and I want 500 cookies for this type. Let's say some birthday event. I wanted to distribute this for kids, one for each. So something like that. Then now my question for everyone here is, what will be your first step? How are you going to make these cookies? 500 round shaped cookies and 500 star shaped cookies. I'm not interested in like ingredient and everything. I wanted to see what will be your first step. If you have to make these cookies now, what will be your first step for making these cookies? Very nice. Okay. Very nice. People are going good. I hope you might have seen in your childhood. Still, you might see there is something called shape, structure, or dove, right? So first, how many shapes you require? Also called as mold. That's nice, Sai. How many shapes you require? Only two shapes. Very nice. Okay. You required only two shapes now. So once you get that shapes ready and you get all that ingredients and everything ready, then can you make 1,000 cookies out of it? Yes. Can you make 2,000 cookies out of it? Yes. Can you make 3,000 cookies out of it? Yes. Okay. So this is nothing but the class. So class is like a cookie cutter or the shape, the mold, the dove, whatever you call them. Okay. So it's like a cookie cutter, and whatever the cookies are nothing but the objects. Okay. So how many cookies you can make out of this same shape? How many cookies you can make out of this same shape? 500, only 500 you can make, Vamshi? Infinite, any number, right? Any number of cookies you can make once you have this mold ready. Okay, so the class defines how much space each object needs. Many objects can be created from the shape, right? From this particular class, you can create any number of cookies. So basically, a class is like a structure. The class is like a structure. Okay. Now, some of you also told me, because multiple definitions for the class, some of you also told me like class is like the template or the blueprint for an object. Okay, the template or a blueprint for an object. Okay, let's see one more scenario to understand this definition. Now, I ask Vamshi to create ID card for our college. Let's say I want some 4,000 ID cards for our college now. So what, Vamshi, you will do now? What will be your first step now? How you will create these 400 ID cards for me? I mean 4,000 ID cards for me. You require details. That could be the later step. First, design the shape, details and length of the ID card. Okay, nice. So where you will create that template? Where you will create the template? How you will create the template? Pattern, template, structure, whatever you call it. Where you will create that template? Okay, you may be using some tools, right? Maybe a Photoshop, Canvas, whatever it may be. You may be making using a tool. And what is the template talks about? Does your template look something like this? It only tells you that this contains name, here space for a photo, and the other description. Does it contain any information? Does it contain any information? No. Okay. So classes are just like their templates. They don't contain the actual information. Then how we create objects for this? Once my template is ready, then how can I create the objects? Once my template is ready, how can I create my objects? If you have the good understanding, you can answer a lot of questions in interviews. Even we have a lot of questions today from different companies. You can check yourself. Okay, you can actually take printouts, right? You can take printouts, and in each printout, can I fill individual information? Like I have to give the ID card for Anirudh. Can I fill Anirudh information in that? Yes. If I have to fill Navya's information, then I can fill Navya's information. If I have to fill for Shruti, then I can fill Shruti's information, right? Every object will have the information, not the class. So class is just like a template or a blueprint. It does not actually contains the data. Okay, it's just a class. It's class. Then why we are creating class, guys? If I ask you why we are creating this template, why we are creating this blueprint, to create objects. Clear? We are creating this blueprint for creating the objects now. So with this, can we conclude, like you all got to know what is mean by a class and an object? You all got to know what is class and what is object. So we have seen an object is a real world entity which has states, exhibits some well-defined behavior, and has a unique identity. A class have multiple definitions. You can tell them class is representation of an object, class is blueprint of an object, class is a template of an object, class is a structure of an object. If interviewers want you to explain with some examples, I hope taking these kind of examples, you can explain them in detail. Can we have a couple of quick questions before we go for the next topic? Acha, there's one more example to make you understand. Suppose I create a class called person. Can you tell me what are its properties now? What are the properties for the person class here? Okay, name of the person, skin color of the person, gender of the person. And what person can do? Walk, speak, and eat. Okay, did I fill any information inside this class? Can we create an object without a class? No, you cannot create an object without a class. Okay. There was a question similar to that, Vamshi. It has been asked in one of the company. I'll tell you. But does it contain any information now? Does it contain information for a person, like what skin color, what gender and all? No, right? So what I will do, I will create an object. Let's say if I create an object called P1. Now I fill the name of the person as Ritesh, skin color as white, gender as male. Now Ritesh can walk, can speak, can eat. Okay. Now can I create one more object for this? Can I create one more object for this? Yes, right. Let's say one more object where name of the person as Rani, skin color as white, gender as female. So like this, how many objects I can create for this person class? How many objects I can create for this person class? Multiple, any number. Okay, any number of objects I can create for this particular class. Great. Now we have so two objects of same class have different values of their variables. Yes, of course. Okay. Okay. Now I have a couple of questions for you. It has been asked in Accenture. Let's see what is that. Which of the following is not true about the class and object? So let's check our understanding about class and object. Okay. So get ready for the options. A class defines attributes and behavior. True or false? Class defines attributes and behaviors. Okay, true. Great. An object is an instance of the class. An object is an instance of the class. Very popular definition. Okay, you'll find in a lot of textbooks. True. Multiple classes can be created from a single object. Multiple classes can be created from a single object. True or false? False, right? You cannot create multiple classes from a single object. It's reverse. Okay, multiple objects can be created from a single class, correct? Okay. So which one is the correct answer? C. Okay. So I hope now you can able to understand, right? So this kind of questions you may get in theoretical perspective. You may get these kind of questions. I hope you can able to justify now what is class and what is object. Of course, Yeshwar. Please can have doubts. Okay. Meantime, I would like to go for the next question. We can have your doubts. Another question asked in Infosys. Which of this is possible? Just now what Vamshi has asked. Class without object. Possible? Class without object. Can we have shape, mold without cookies? No. Cannot we have shape without cookies? Yes, we can have. What's wrong? Okay. Can we say it one to many or many to one, as we can create many objects from one single class? Yes, it's one to many. Okay, it's one to many. So class without object, possible. Okay, it is possible. Object without class, possible? No, right? Okay, and other options obviously. So which option is correct here? I mean, which of these is possible? A. Okay, class without object is possible, but objects without class is not possible. So that's what we have learned, and that is what our understanding from the previous thing. So class can exist without object, but object cannot exist without a class. An object cannot exist without a class. So with this, can we conclude our topic called class and object? Two objects of same class have different values for their variables. Two objects of same class have different. Obviously, every object will have a different value, Vamshi. Like your ID card will have your values, right, Vamshi? Right? And your friend ID card will have his their own values. So every object will have their own values. They belongs to same class. Okay? They belongs to same class, but their values will be different. Okay, if two objects have same values, then it will be a confusion. They may have, but it will create an ambiguity. It may create a confusion. There must be some unique number. That's what we call it as your roll number should be unique, right? So that way, two objects mostly will not have the same values. Every object will have different values. Okay, we're going to see all these things, Vamshi. A lot of things we'll be discussing today. A lot of confusions will get clear. But before we go for the next topic, which is structure of your Java program, I wanted to see anybody having any question from class and object. And thank you, Vamshi. Thank you, Yashwant, for asking questions. I strongly encourage people. Anyhow, I made slides in such a way that I kept all questions ready before you ask. I have a lot of questions for you. But I always appreciate if you can ask as much as questions you want. That could be the best thing we can do here, right? So I'll be happy to answer your questions. You ask number of times here, I'll be most happiest person to answer all of your questions. But I'll be more happier if everybody understood whatever I've explained. It means I justified telling the things. Okay. Okay, so there was a question here. When I solve, sorry, I missed that question. When I solve lead code questions, I hardly find this object-oriented programming concept coming to application like many questions were solved with normal approach. Yashwant, I will exactly tell you where, see, you can solve problem in any approach, okay? But language is important, what language you are using, okay? And most importantly, you may be using some concepts like collections, which will be very useful for solving the problems in the lead code. And that's why you see most of the coders in the lead code preferred language is Java because of it features its concept supported for solving the problem. Okay. So this is one area. See, for solving the problems, what you require is built-in data structures with some algorithmic concept. That's what you require. And Java has everything into it. Okay, and while solving the problem, obviously you will be writing the code directly in the main function. That's okay. How you implement is up to you. But for development perspective, it's one of the very important thing, right? For knowing an object-oriented approach is one of the very important thing. So if you're using Java language for solving the problem, it means you're actually using object-oriented programming to solve the problems. Is C++ have STL? So do we have any replacement concept in Java? Yeah, we have collections side. Okay, much better than STL. We have collections in Java, one of the most popular concept in Java actually. As a second year student just starting Java, should I first focus on learning basics? Yes. Parallelly, you should also learn problem solving, right? Because you're having data structures this semester and you'll be learning algorithms moving forward. I think second is the right time to start working on the lead code. Okay. So because when you go for an interview, they will see the profile. So if you start working on lead code late, then it may like create like what you did all these days because you haven't participated lead code contest or you're not working on the lead code. So it has its own statistics. So that will help you for getting placed. Also, this will improve your coding skills because you're competing the people all over the globe. So it's important. Okay, it's actually I can tell you language and problem solving should go hands in hand. Okay, get master a language, one language you get master everything, and then start working for problem solving. Should go both hand in hand. So Vamshi, is your question got answered? Shruti, is this clear for you? Like how Java replaces this STL and all? Fine. So now we will be learning the structure of your Java program. So let's see how actually you write a Java program. So we will be writing our first Java program today, okay? In object-oriented style. We'll be writing Java program in object-oriented style. See, mostly in the development, I can say 90% of the time you will be using object-oriented approach for development perspective. So this concept is morely, as Yashwant has raised this point, is mostly valid that we use this object oriented concept mostly in the development perspective rather than in coding, because coding is focused mainly on logic building. So you can use any language, but concentration will be on the two things. One is what kind of libraries is do support is most important, right? So a lot of built-in functionalities will help you for code optimization. That could be a good choice actually. But we are learning Java for both, for your coding perspective as well as for development perspective. So that is why we have to learn everything in concept, and that is what every interviewers will expect you. Like the moment you say that you know Java, they will basically test you how depth knowledge you have it in Java. Okay. So I hope all of your questions got answered, because this is very important before we get into a language. There should be no confusion regarding a language, first of all. So language selection is a primary thing. Whenever you start implementing any code, whether it is in lead code, code chef, code force, hacker rank, hacker earth, whatever, the language selection is very, very important. And then once you select a language, then uh, having a complete understanding of the language is important. Okay, having a half knowledge will create you a problem. But for development, having a complete understanding of the language is important. Okay. Okay. So now, then, like what is the very first line in C++ program? What is the very first line in C++ program? Anyone? So generally the first line of C++ program contains include statement. For example, we will be including this header file called stdio.h, stands for standard input output header file, is a header file that contains functions like printf, scanf, etc. So if you wanted to use any of these functions, we should include this header file in C++ program. Do you agree with this statement? That if you are using any of these functions like printf, scanf, getas, puts, getchar, putchar, related to input output, if any of the functions you are using, then you will be including this header file called stdio.h header file you will be including. Okay, stdio.h header file you will be including. Now, if you're writing, let's say I wanted to write the first Java program. Okay, in every program you require this stdio.h. In every program you write, do you need to include this stdio.h, or only when you're using printf, scanf, or any functions from it? So obviously, like almost every program you require, right? Why? Because somehow you're using printf or scanf, correct? So almost every program you may be using it. Correct. Great. So, like what could be the very first line in Java? If you have to start writing the Java program, this could be an interview question. This could be an interview question. What will be the very first line in C++? If somebody asks you what could be the very first line, then you may tell that including a header file could be the very first line. Okay, could be a very first line. Can somebody tell me like what could be the very first line in Java program? Not exactly. Even practically speaking, it's not import statement also. Not even main method, not even class. What is the very first line in any Java program? Okay, actually, I'll tell you. You will be learning later, but let me tell you as the question has come. Package statement is a very first statement. Okay, package statement is a very first statement. I told you we will be learning about packages also. If time permits, we will do that. But basically, uh, so okay, this is the answer to the interview question, like what could be the very first statement. Okay, Shruti says package. That's nice. Okay, the next question is, uh, basically, as you told, like some of you told, like we also need to import the programs. Okay, import the program. Now my question, there is one question. Let's say like printf and scanf. Let's say printf and scanf is present in stdio.h, right? And for printing output in Java, what function you uses? For printing output in Java, what function you uses? In Java, if you have to print, what function you will use? Name of the function. I just name of the function. Okay, its name of the function is print. Okay, like printf, the name of the function is print or println. Correct? Okay, that's a different statement. System is different. Out is different. I didn't ask you about that. I just asked you what is a function. What is a function? In Java, we basically call it as methods. So print or println is a method. Now, where this method presents in, like in C language, you know, printf is present in stdio.h, scanf is present in stdio.h. Okay, system class. Okay, let me see with others as well, because a lot of confusion related to these basic concepts. I wanted to make things clear initially itself so that you can have a better understanding from the beginning. uh, Println is both method as well as function. No, basically method and function are same, Yashwan. In object oriented style, we call it as method. In procedural approach, we call it as function, Yashwan. So both are actually one and the same thing. But functions are independent code, whereas methods are the part of the classes. So that's why we tell. So my question remains same. Where this, what I can say, where this println method presents in. Where is the println method present? Like in C language, printf is present in stdio, where this println is present. I did not get the correct answer yet, so I need, okay. So the answer is, it is present in package. Which package? Okay, it's actually present in which package? No, it's not present in java.lang. Okay. Actually, basically methods are present in class. First, let me tell you the class. I hope you haven't heard about this class before. Did you heard about the class called print stream class? Okay, no, fine. Okay, this is present in print stream class, and this further, okay, this further present in a package called java.io. Java.io, input output package. Okay, I can prove you this. Just give me a minute. I can prove you that in which package this is present. So I'll just open a command prompt. Give me a minute. I'll go here. Okay, open. Okay, so let's get ready with our command prompt as well so that I can show you. Now, I just show you that I can print that class and show you java.io dot print stream. Print stream. Okay. If I press enter, can you see the methods like println methods? Can you see these methods now? Print method and println methods? Yes. Okay. Just confirm everyone. Can you see all these methods? Print, ln methods. Good. So now this is very confusing, right? Because you have used this print and println method since 2 months, and if you get this question in interviews, we will answer wrong. If you say it's present in system class, it's wrong. So what impression the examiner interviewer will get? That we don't have basic understanding in which class and which package it's present in. So anyhow, moving forward, we will see that kind of things. So how this, so what is println here? Anyone? What is println? It's a method. In Java, we call it as a method. What is print stream class? I mean, what is print stream here, guys? What is print stream here? What is print stream? Is a class. Very nice. It's a class. Okay. And what is java.io? Java.io package. Okay. Very nice. So please remember these terminologies. Huh? So anyhow, we will be using a lot. So you'll get to know. So anytime you're learning any method, you should know which class it's present in, what package it's present in, because you're going to import this package. Now tell me, if you are using println method, which package we have to import now? Java.io package. Why util here? Because util, I'm not using anything. There's not present in util package, right? So we'll not be using util. So we need to import this package. Yashwant, clear for you now? So which package we have to import to use println method? Nice. Okay. So we'll be using IO package. But did you ever imported this package? You have used println method before. Did you ever imported this package? Why you haven't imported package? Why you have not imported this package? You write println method number of times, right? Since day one, you are writing system.out.println. Default method, no. Predefined method, no. But still you have to import it, right? Whether it is predefined, even when you're using printf function, are you not including this stdio.h? Yes, right. Printf is also a predefined function. Scanf is a predefined function. So my question is, why you're not importing this IO package? Why you're not importing this IO package? Okay, because you're not directly using this. Okay, you're not directly using this. There is a big story behind it. I will tell you more in detail. But now remember, we actually going to use a class called system. Okay, we're going to use a class called system. Inside the system class, now there is a predefined object for print stream is available, which is the object name is out of the print stream. And this system class is present in which package, guys? System class is present in which package? Java.lang package. Okay, language package. Java.language package. So system, we have a class. Again, you can see here. Let me write down. So if you look at this, na, out is a object actually. It's a predefined object for print stream class. Print stream class. System is a class. Okay, and java.lang is a package. Java.lang is a package. So you did not imported java.io because you did not use this print stream directly. You're using indirectly from system class. Okay, system class. I will show you that as well. Let me prove this as well. Now, if I go and say Java P, okay, okay, Java P, Java dot lang dot system, java.lang dot system. Look at the first statements inside the system. Can you see the out object? Can you see this out object? Yes. What class it belongs to, guys? What class it belongs to? Print stream. Okay. It belongs to print stream class. In object belongs to which class? In object belongs to which class? Input stream. Input stream. IO is a package. Java.io is a package. Okay. Input stream, print stream, All these are from the packages. Okay, so with this information, actually, similarly in Java, first we need to import the packages actually. Now tell me which package I have to import. If I'm using system.out.println, which package I have to import? IO we will not import, Vamshi, because I'm not using that directly, print stream class directly. I'm using this from system class. I'm using this from system class. And system class is present in which package, Vamshi? Java.lang, right? It is present in java.lang, not in java.io. You see, java.lang.system. So I'm using the out object from system class, not from print stream. So that's why I will not use IO package to import. I will use java.lang package. Okay, so java.lang package. So by default, java.lang package is imported, so you don't have to import it. Correct. That's nice, Shruti. Java.lang is says that java.lang is by default imported. So that's why when we write the first program, do I need to import any package? If I have to print hello world, do I need to import any package now? No, I don't need to import any package. Why? Because java.lang is by default imported. If you are using anything from this lang package, then you don't have to import it. So now again, I am asking you a question. What is the very first line in Java program? Okay, package statement. Very nice. Okay, package statement. Then how do we import the packages in Java? How do we import the packages in Java? Import the package name, correct? Import and the package name. Nice. So, sir, print ln is in java.io. Then why we are calling java.lang? Because we are not using it directly, Pranay. We are using the out object from the system class, okay, which is actually already created in the system class. So I'm using from system class, I'm not directly using println method from print stream class. So that's why we are not importing IO. We are simply using, that's why you're writing system.out.println. Actually, I need a complete session to make you understand what is system.out.println. Then you will get more clarity. But I just wanted to make it very clear because when I asked println method present in, most of us say that system class. So that's why I thought let's give you some insight. Then we will be discussing in detail moving forward, Pranay. But I have proved you, right? I have proved you whatever I said. I have proved that println is a method present in printstream class, which is present in IO package. But as we are not using directly from IO package, we are using from lang package system class. That's why we have imported. Correct, Pranay? Vamshi says yes. Thank you, Vamshi. Can I get some more clarity from others? Is this clear for all? Just type Y if this concept is clear. And this will be majorly for placements. Slowly, we will start solving the problems from company specific as well. But first, my intention is to make you understand the language, okay? Because here we're starting with the core. We also go to advanced Java as well in the next semester or end of the whenever, like after completing this. How to watch again these classes? For now, not sure about it, but because let's need to talk about it. I have no clarity, but these sessions are getting recorded. In maybe for future, you may get it. I strongly recommend go for certification textbooks, which will have the depth knowledge because you're learning for placements. I will also recommend some of the textbooks for JNTU perspective, and I will provide my notes, which could be a combination of both. Okay. See, these slides, now putting a lot of efforts making it. So please make a note of it. This will be very, very useful for your placements. Okay. Now, with this, let's get into the next concept. Since Java is a pure object-oriented programming language, we cannot write a Java program without having a class, right? You know, like we need to have a class compulsory in Java. At least till Java 8, we need to have a class. After Java 8, we can write in functional approach, so may not be class required. But at least till Java 8, it is mandatory to write a program inside a class. Okay, everything you write, even a main function you write, should be inside the class. Even your main function you write inside the class. One suggestion from our side: use analogies after mentioning the concept. Also, sure, of course, I'll do that. Okay, sure. Okay, so now we have what you can write inside the class. Basically, inside the class, you can have four things. This could be one important interview question. Can somebody tell me what could be the four things? Let's see who knows what four things you can write inside a class based on our learning and based on your knowledge. Can someone tell me what four things you can have inside a class? Variables, methods, constructors are also kind of methods. Okay. So variables and methods, I agree. Sangeeta. What else we can have? What four things we can have? Because constructors are also special methods. Yeah. Karthik says data members and member functions. Okay. Two is over. Constructor is also special methods. Okay. Constructor is also special methods. Blocks is a good answer. Three done. Okay. So basically we can have fields, which is nothing but the data variables, which determine the states of an object. Then we can have methods, which write executable code of the class built in from statements. It allows us to manipulate, change the status of an object or access the value of the data members and all. Other than that, you can also have nested classes, okay, and blocks, initializer blocks. So basically, you can have these four things inside the class. Basically, you can have four things inside this class. Now, can we get into our first object-oriented program? Can we write our first class now? Are you all ready for this? Yes, last session we said Java is not pure object-oriented language. Okay, because two reasons. Till Java 7, it was strongly object-oriented, but not purely object-oriented because it do support for primitive. From Java 8 onwards, it's hybrid language, right? Okay, great. So now let's go and write our first object-oriented program. Okay, let's write our first object-oriented program. Now, okay. So what I will do is I will create a file. Okay, I'll create a file. Let's give the file name as bank. Okay, let's give the file name as bank. Yeah, I'm going to show installation as well. First thing is, now if you see here, I just got a file called bank.java. Okay, I just created a file called bank.java. So we are going to write our first program. As I told you, we're going to implement this object today. We're going to implement the bank object. So already we discussed about the bank object, like it will have the name of the customer, it will have the account number of the customer, it will have the balance of the customer. Okay, so and we're going to have a method for deposit, withdraw, and check balance. Now let's implement this in a program. Okay, whatever we have learned so far about class, object, and all, we're going to implement it. We're going to implement it. So now, if you see here, okay, I will create a class and give the class name as bank. Give the class name as bank. Then it will have the opening bracket and closing bracket. It will have the opening bracket and closing bracket. So I just created a class called bank. Okay. And inside that, I'm going to have fields and methods, as you told me. Currently, we're not going to have nested classes or initializer blocks. That we will learn later. But for now, I will be providing the fields and the methods. Now tell me what fields we decided: name, account number, and balance. Now, can you help me for creating these fields? What data types I can use? What will be the data type for creating a name field so that I can store the name of the customer? What could be the data type? Okay, string is a data type. Okay, it's a primitive type or class type? String is a primitive type or class type in Java? It's a class type. Okay, very nice. It's not a primitive type, it's a class type. For account number, guys, for account number, long can be good option because account numbers can be bigger values than integer. And for balance, double. Okay, very nice. So I will go with this and I will create this three fields now. I will create this three fields. So I'll be creating these three fields. So as you told me, string is a class type, not primitive type. So S must be capital. Okay, so I will create string, name of the field as name, name of the field as name. Now you told me account number can be of type long. I'm using primitive type here. Okay, account number. Even I can use wrapper classes for this, but go for primitive. Okay, then double for account number. Sorry, double for balance. Double for balance. Done. So my three fields got created now. Okay, three fields got created. Now I will create the method. Okay, which method I will create? I will first create the method for printing the balance. I'll create a method for printing the balance. And methods will have a return type. So I will not be returning any value. So return type is void. Name of the method, let me give it as print balance. Whatever name, it's a user defined name. You can give any name. Simply it will print the balance. Anyhow, I'm going to teach you what is the system.out.println, but at least you have this understanding that system is a class, out is a predefined object from print stream, and then print is a method. Println is a method. Now I'm printing the balance. Okay. Now I'm printing the balance. How? I will say, I will print the name of the customer. Okay. Then I will say your current balance. Your current balance is, I will print the balance. I'll print the balance. So this will print the current balance. This will print the current balance. Done. You see, I have created three fields into this, and I have created a method called print balance, which will simply print the current balance. So this is what happens when you go to ATM, right? When you just say print balance, it will print Mr. Yashwant, your current balance is so and so. Mr. Vamshi, your current balance is so and so. How does void works in void? Void is a return type, as I'm not returning anything. So return type is void here. This is how you define functions in C language as well, right? That's why I told you functions and methods are same. Syntactically, they are same. As only I'm calling it as a method because I'm writing inside the class. That's why I'm calling it as a method. Whereas in C language, it's call it as a function. Let's call it as a function. Is this clear, guys? How to create our class is ready. You see how easy is this? Writing an object-oriented program. I created a class called bank. I created three fields. I created a method. Okay, I created a method. Now, suppose I wanted to deposit the amount. Yeah, same like functions in Python, C language, C++, they're all same. Okay. Now, can you help me how to write deposit function? Can someone help me? How to write the deposit function? How to write the deposit function? Or, okay, before we go for the other functions, we will try to use this now. Okay, we'll try to use this class. So what should I do if I have to use this class, guys? Class is just like a template, right? Still, I did not have any name. I did not have any customer. I mean, account number and balance. I don't have anything. If I have to use this class, what I have to do? If I have to use this bank class, what I have to do? What we have learned so far conceptually? We have to, come on, create the object. Very nice. Okay, we have to create the object for this class. Okay, we have to create the object for the class. Now let us see how to create the object for a class. How do we create the object for the class? We used to create the object for the class like this. The name of the class, the object of the class, okay, the new operator to allocate the memory, and then we will call this constructor. Let us try to understand this line carefully. So this is the line how we create an object. Same like scanner class object you created. Scanner SC is equal to new scanner. If you have to create employee object, employee E1 is equal to new employee. Okay, so now let's try to understand this thing. So first thing, what happens is whenever you write this line, the class loading will load the class. So when bank class is first used, whatever the bank class we created, now the class loader load the bank.class file into the JVM method area. Okay, first the class will be loaded. Once the class will be loaded, information about the method, fields, and bytecode of the class will be stored in the method area. Okay. Next is it will allocate the memory in the heap. So new bank, whatever you're writing on the right hand side, new bank, allocate memory in the heap area for the object. Let me show this practically, what is happening here. So whenever I'm writing this line, bank C1 is equal to new. New is an operator in Java for allocating the memory dynamically in the heap. Okay, so this line when I write, now let me tell you what is this. This is my class name, right? This is the class name. This is the object name. This is the object name C1. New is an operator to allocate the memory dynamically. And this is my constructor. This is my constructor. We will be talking more detail about it, but now let me show you what happens here. So now, as I told you, new bank, this statement, new bank, what it will do, it will allocate the memory in the heap area. So in heap, a memory will be allocated. A memory will be allocated. You can imagine a memory like this. Okay. A memory will be allocated in the heap area and it will have some address. Let's say the address will be 2001. 2001. Okay. A memory is allocated in the heap because all dynamic memory will be allocated in the heap. Okay. All dynamic memory will be allocated in the heap. There was a couple of questions. Sorry, I missed it. Shruti, which previous slide you want? Just let me know what happened if we don't define a constructor in a class. Vamshi, we will talk about it, but basically it will have a default constructor created for your information. Shruti, step number 1. Okay, I'll just quickly show step number 1 and then come back. Step number 1 is about what we discussed in our last class, Shruti, where I talked about class loading. Anyhow, I will come back to this, but we will. Okay, now, as I told you, in the step number 2, this will allocate the memory. So memory will be allocated. Okay, memory will be allocated. Then once the memory allocates, what happened? Then bank constructor is executed and default values will be assigned. Okay, so now what are the fields inside the bank class, guys? We have fields like name, okay, account number, and the balance. The job of that constructor, as Vamshi has asked a question, that if we don't have any constructor, like in our class, did we provided any constructor, guys? Did we provided, do you see any constructor here? No. If we don't have any constructor, then JVM will provide the constructor. And what is that constructor called as? What is that constructor called as? Default constructors. Default constructor, because it will fill default values. Default values. Can you tell me what is a default value for string? What is the default value for string? Okay, null, as it is an object. What is the default value for long? 0. And what is the default value for double? 0.0. Correct? Agree with me? What is happening internally? What is happening internally? First line, it allocates the memory, then constructor will be executed, and the default value will be assigned into 0, float to 0.0, boolean to false, object reference to null. Got my point, everyone? Up to here, is it clear? What happens when you write this new bank? This is very important. Okay. So new bank, new is an operator which will allocate the memory. Okay. And the constructor gets called and the default constructor will execute and it will fill the default values to all the properties. Now this will be assigned to whom? C1. So C1, okay, will be created and C1 will be referring to this particular object. Now the second question is where this C1 will be created? Where this C1 will be created? Because I told you this gets created in the heap. So where this C1 gets created? Anyone? It gets created in the stack memory. Okay, it gets created in the stack memory. So step number 3. So C1 is a reference variable. It created in the stack area of the main method. It gets created in the stack area of the main method. What is it contains? It stores the address of the object in the heap. It will contain the address basically. Okay. So I'll prove all these things. So now I wanted to check at least step number 2 and step number 3 is clear for all. Step number 2 and step number 3 is clear. Okay. I need confirmation with everyone because this is very important. Okay. No, there are two different memories, Yashwant. Stack is different memory, heap is different. All dynamically allocated data will be created in heap, whether it is in C language, C++, Java, Python, everywhere it is same. Whenever you allocate the memory dynamically, it gets created in heap. And whatever the memory you created locally, it gets created in the stack. Okay. So here, where the reference getting created and where the object getting created is important. Yeah, we will talk about it because there is something called memory management. We will talk about it, but stack is one of the memory name, Vamshi, where every method will have their own stack, okay, which follows last in first out, as you might have studied this in data structures. It's one of the data structure where that reference is getting stored. So for now, it's just a name of the memory for you now. We will go in detail about it, but for now, it's just a name of the memory. Clear for you? Okay, great. Okay, great. Okay, now I will prove you first thing is that I will go to, I will save this. Okay, I'll create the object inside my test class and show you whether it's printing the default values or not. Okay, so whether it prints the default values or not. Now I will just create the object. How I will create the object? Bank C1 is equal to new bank. Bank C1 is equal to new bank. Object got created. Now if I say C1 dot print balance, if I say print balance, can somebody tell me what gets printed now? What gets printed here? What will be the name gets printed? Null, very good. And what will be the balance gets printed now? What will be the balance gets printed? 0.0. This proves that default constructor is getting called and filling the default values, right? This proves that default constructor is getting called and filling the default values. Now let me prove this. So when I compile my program test.java, okay, the program gets compiled. Now when I run Java test just to prove you, okay, you see null, your current balance is 0.0. Okay, so it means what? An object is getting created, the constructor is getting called, it's filling the default values. Can I fill my values now? Can I fill Rahul values here? Yes. How? I can do like this. I can say C1 dot name as Rahul. Okay. C1 dot name as Rahul. Then C1 dot account number. Rahul, can you tell your account number? Okay, just asking. Okay, 1234. Let's say Rahul account number is 1234. Okay, and then balance. Let's make Rahul balance as 1000.0. Okay, I hope Rahul will be happy. At least initial balance 1000.0. Okay, now if I print balance, will it print Rahul information? Because now this null has been replaced with Rahul. This account number has been replaced with 1234 and balance has been replaced with 1000. Now if I print, what it gets printed now, I compile the code, it gets compiled, I run the code. Now is it printing the correct information? Rahul, your current balance is 1000. It means my first object oriented program is working. Okay, so what we did, we created a class called bank where I created three properties, name, account number, and balance. Okay, then I created a method. I created a method for printing the balance. Okay, now my class is ready. Then in main class, I created the object of the class, I just shown you how to create the object and what happens internally. And then I fill the information. Then I just checked whether it's printing the balance correctly or not. Okay. So this is just a small testing. Now to conclude this, can we have few questions to conclude the session for the day? And meantime, you can give your attendance as well. Or else what we can do is, can you add deposit and withdraw method as a homework, everyone? Yeah, you can also give you input in Java. I will teach you how to give input in Java. Let's not make so complicated initially. It's just for testing purpose. I will show the QR code, guys. You please can mark using QR code so that we can track the attendance, because sir is looking into attendance very carefully. Okay. So we just need to have proper attendance. So I'll just show the QR code. Please mark your attendance. Then I have few questions for you. You can stay back. Or if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer your questions. So I will clear the screen. Now look at the code first of all. If you look at the code, I have a bank class, right? Bank class, which has name, account number, and balance, and print balance, which is printing the balance. Now in the test class, I created the object, I fill the information, and I'm calling the print balance. Okay. Now when I go here, compile the code, how we will compile Java C test.java, that's my main class. So it gets compiled with no errors. Now when I run Java test, then it will run and show me, Rahul, your current balance is so and so. So whatever the information I have uh, stored, that is getting printed, correct? And this is the diagrammatic representation of whatever we have learned. Yeah, most welcome, Shu. Any more questions, guys, on today's concepts? If two different objects of the same class have identical attribute values, will they? No, there will be no problem at all. Every object can have their own values. Okay. But we don't be, right? How do we choose? We will be discussing on data types concept. Then you will get a clarity, because data type is one of the very important concept for certification perspective. So then you can select based on the data, based on the ranges, basically what range they have. Based on that, you have to select which data type it will be. How it is already created. It's by default. Uh, Print stream object is present in system class, and it gets instantiated automatically. That's how it designed. That's all predefined things. And that's why we are using out object from the system class to call the print method. Okay. Once go through the today's lecture slide from starting, I wanted to take a screenshot. Don't worry, Yashwant. Once we get finalized, we'll provide you my notes as well. You'll find everything there. Okay, don't worry about it. And can a primitive data types hold null? No, it cannot hold null value. Only objects can hold null. Primitives cannot hold null. Okay. Null is a different, like it's object reference type. It cannot be contained inside the primitive types. Good. Good questions coming up, but somehow for time we have to conclude. But we are still has to continue this, and then in the next class we'll get some more clarity about it. And I told you a lot of questions we have prepared on this concept, but I cannot ask now because in hurry bari I don't want to do it. So let's learn some more concepts, and then we will have a question. For now, we will be having a homework. Just get ready with deposit and withdraw method. Okay. Can we create object in the same class inside of writing another class? Of course, but it's not a good practice. Okay. Of course, Vamshi, I'm here for that. I'm here for clarifying your doubts. Okay. Because Java is so depth language, and there are a lot of confusions. So I'm here to help you out anytime, anywhere. I'll be helping you out. Okay. I'll talk about two different types of classes in the next class. You will get some more clarity about it.